As we promised, we now have live online Tony Libratore, a great IFL football legend. Tony, of course, was one of the smallest IFL players, but was a very dynamic player. And of course, Tony Libratore played for Footscray in the VFL, IFL from 1986 to 2002. He played more than 283 games and kicked 95 goals. Libratore is the only player to have won a league best and fairest medal in all three grades of VFL, IFL football. Liba, of course, was born in Australia to Italian parents. His career highlights include Brownlow Medal 1990, Charles Sutton Medal 1991, Western Bulldog Team of the Century, 2 by Gardner Medal 1986, 1998, Morris Medal 1994, and more and more. And of course, the Western Bulldogs are into the grand final for the first time in 55 years after beating Giants by 6 points in the game of the season at Sydney Showground. Tony, welcome to 3XY Sports Show.
Thank you, Con. Pikanis.
Πολύ καλά. I think you are better than me, better than anyone these days.
Thank you.
Tony, can you please explain your feeling after the siren when you realized that the Western Bulldogs had made into their first grand final since 1961, half century or 55 years?
Yeah, very, very happy, Con. It's been a long time before we've made a grand final, and I can't tell you how exciting it was to feel the emotion with all the supporters and the members. And
of course, we saw you yesterday. You was the grandstand, and your feeling. You can't hold your feelings.
Oh, I think it was incredible. I mean, I was so excited. The passion and the adrenaline was running through me for the whole night, and just to win the game and to get to the grand final was something that I'll remember for a long time. And I'm really hopeful we can go one better and win it on Saturday.
And of course, Tony, with the experience of the club's cruelest lose in the 1997 preliminary final against Adelaide, what advice, if any, did you offer your son Tom before yesterday's game?
Look, I don't offer him any advice. I mean, I think, Tom's a big boy, and there's so many good coaches at the club, and, our coach, Luke Beveridge, is fantastic, and, I think his words will run much deeper than what I can say. But, if anything, I just sort of say, have fun, enjoy the game, and do the best you can. That's all we can say. But, 1997 was a long time ago, so I hope these boys now can create their own history.
And of course, a defining moment in the final Cora will live in the memories of Dogs fans for generations, I think. And a few players like Johannesson, Marcus Bondabelli, your son Tom Libratore, rose above them. They was the best players. They had one of the best game.
Oh, look, it was very, very important. The good thing about our football club is we are very team. We play together as a team, and everyone plays their role. And to win a premiership that's what we have to do. Just to play, everybody has to play their own role and do the best for the football club. And this is what this side's been doing for the last 3 weeks. And as I said, this is what we hope for next week. If we can do that, then it would be a dream come true for me anyway.
And of course, next question was how do you rate the performance of your coach or the coach of Bulldogs? Look, and do you believe the future is bright for the Western Bulldogs?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I think the way he is, his background, his coaching, he coached in amateur from C grade, B grade, A grade, the team St. Bede's to win all premierships, and been involved at Hawthorn in the premiership and Collingwood in the premiership. So I think luck follows his way, and I really believe we can do it on Saturday. And he's been unbelievable for the players and the whole coaching staff.
And Tony, considering the Bulldogs have defeated Sydney twice in consecutive years, how do you rate their chances in next week's grand final?
Look, I think when we come to the grand final, it doesn't matter if we've beaten or haven't beaten it. Beat Sydney, what happens on the day, and I'm a great believer in is the best side will win on the day. And even though we've beaten them a few times, the last time we've played, it's still going to be a very hard game, and I think it's going to be a very tough game and a very close game. And it'll be a very competitive game for both teams, and hopefully we'll finish up on top like we did against GWS on Saturday.
Of course, the Swans, the third time they reached the grand final the last 5 years, and 5 times they won one in the last decade, I think, isn't it? 2005, I think was the
2005.
They won the grand final, and they reached another 5 times, including the next week final, the last 10 years.
Exactly. Yeah.
How do you view the evolution of the modern game as compared to the game in your era?
Yeah, I think the game now it's funny. I think the game's a bit of a cross between soccer and football, because soccer's the way that's based on possession and short game and touch, and football's played a lot like that now. If you look at there's very rarely under pressure, the side, sometimes the ball goes to the opposition, but the whole objective is to try and make sure you kick to your teammate and use the ball, and don't give the ball to the opposition. And it's come a long way now, because when I was playing, it was probably a little bit different. It was more a bit of a longer game, more of a marking game, but there's still a lot of good high marks that are happening on there. But the game now is, I think Alistair Clarkson spent a bit of time in London and watched a little bit of the EPL, and he's come back with a lot of different methods where a lot of zoning is going on in the AFL now. Look, the Bulldogs are very good at when the opposition have the ball, they zone back, and it's hard for the opposition to get through that zone, and that's probably been one of our great strengths this year, especially in the finals.
And finally, Tony, your tip for tomorrow night, Brownlow Count?
I've got a feeling maybe we might have a bit of luck with maybe Marcus Bontempelli might win. I think Dangerfield's going to be hard to beat, but I think he'll poll a lot of votes, and he's had a very good year and has probably been one of our best players this year.
Of course, before we wish you good luck to your team for next week, Tony, do you see Carlton, your team, making the grand final in the next couple of years, so us long-suffering supporters can also experience what you and Bulldogs supporters are experiencing today?
Well, I think they're on the right track. I think they're recruiting youth, and you see someone like Silvani who's come from GWS and picking up a lot of their players. And I think they'll be on the right track, and it might take a few more years than Carlton people might think. But I think they're on the right track, and they showed this year that they won some games against some good opposition. And like us a few years ago, they're a bit up and down, and that's what you'll get from young sides. And that hopefully for them that will create some consistency, and then they can start winning games on a more regular basis.
Tony, thanks very much for your time. We wish you good luck, and wish Bulldogs win the grand final, so we're celebrating next Sunday again.
Definitely up the doggies.
Thanks, Tony. Have a good night and good luck next week. Thank you very much for your time.
No problem.